Hey, what's going on YouTube? Today I'm going to showcase a 1 bar Oakensoul build for the Magicka Sorcerer, also known as Magsorc. This build utilizes some of the best gear in the game to pull endgame DPS. This build is capable of pulling over 93k on the parse dummy and is viable for most content. I will be using mythics and trial gear, so this is not a super beginner friendly build, but rather more for endgame players who prefer 1 bar builds. I will also do my best to keep it as viable for content as possible, such as offering a flex spot for other skills and giving advice on some alternatives to gear or skills within the video. Anyways, here's the build. So starting off in the character sheet, I have 64 points in a Magicka and I'm running the Thief Mundus. For the race, I am a High Elf. Other alternatives include Khajiit, Dark Elf, and possibly even maybe Bren would be fine. For food, our best choice is probably Clockwork Citrus Fillet, and a cheaper and almost as good alternative would be Witchmother's Potent Brew. And if you're parsing or just need more sustain, then Ghastly Eyeball is always the go-to. So for potions, because we have all of the necessary buffs other than Major Intellect that comes from Spell Power pots, we're going to opt instead to use Heroism pots. So for the potion combination I used Dragon Reum, Dragon Blood, and Columbine. This gives us Restore Stamina with Major Endurance, Restore Magicka with Major Intellect, and Minor Heroism. The most important part about this potion is the Minor Heroism and Major Intellect. Major Intellect is going to help us sustain, and Minor Heroism is going to give us crazy ult regeneration, paired with Major Heroism that the Oakensoul provides. So this is how we're able to drop so many ultimates through a parse. These potions are quite expensive to make, so make sure you have 3 points in medicinal use to benefit from the full duration of the potions. Medicinal use could be found through the alchemy skill line. So for CP, for the blue tree, we're going to be running Backstabber, Wrathful Strikes, Deadly Aim, and Master at Arms. For the red tree, we're going to be running Sustained by Suffering, Siphoning Spells, Rejuvenation, and Balanced Vitality. So for gear, we're going to be running 5-piece Zogvin paired with 5-piece Whirl of Depths, paired with 1-piece Slime Crawl and Oakensoul Ring. So breaking it down, in the main hand we have a Zogvin Dagger and Nirnhoned with a Flame Damage enchant. On the offhand, a Charged with a Poison Damage enchant. For the head, we have a 1-piece Slime Crawl in Medium and Divines with Max Mag enchant. On the body, we have 5 pieces of Depths all in Max Mag with Divines as the trait. And on the legs, we have 1-piece Zogvin in Divines with Max Mag. And for the jewelry, we have 2 pieces of Zogvin jewelry, both traded in Bloodthirsty with spell damage enchant. And lastly, Oakensoul Ring with the spell damage enchant traded in Bloodthirsty. So for skills, we're going to be running Daedric Prey, Crystal Fragments, Deadly Cloak, Volatile Familiar, Twilight Tormentor, and Greater Storm Atronach. So for the rotation, we're just going to be using a priority rotation, meaning we're just going to refresh whatever falls off and whatnot. So our main priority is going to be Daedric Prey, and then Deadly Cloak, and then Volatile Familiar. And then when you have nothing better to cast, use your Crystal Fragments. And then when you have your Greater Storm Atronach, drop it as soon as possible. So closing thoughts. First off, for skills, you can remove Deadly Cloak and maybe even Twilight if you really need to. Just as a side note, you can also swap the morph of Twilight Tormentor into Twilight Matriarch for a really good burst heal. Just some alternate skills that you could run would be Hardened Ward, a really good shield, Crit Surge, a really good heal. And for alternate gear, instead of Depth paired with Zogvin, you can run Basai on the body if you can control your Magicka. You can also run Pillar or Advancing Yokeda or Order's Wrath. Those would probably be my top picks. And lastly, one of the best parts about this build is you can just swap to an Inferno Staff for a little bit less DPS, but it does give you the ability to be at range. Obviously, you do drop Deadly Cloaks, so you can substitute a different skill for that. And I think that wraps it up. Let me know if you have any questions. You can leave them in the comment section below or come join our Discord. And as usual, a outfit section and parse will be attached. And thanks for watching and have a good day.